printing ink. In today's video, we're going to be covering how to change the DTF print head. I know how you guys can feel. It can be very, very overwhelming, especially if it's your first time changing one of these print heads. I'm going to make it as humanly simple as possible in this video, giving you step-by-step instructions, what you will need, and a lot of general tips. First of all, you're going to be needing a DTF print head for the replacement. The DTF print head that will be provided is a 9-pin print head. I'll put a photo up on the screen right now. You want to make sure before you purchase your print head, make sure that you have 9 pins on this side. So this is the little part that goes inside of your print head, and you also have this part. Most printers nowadays all have 9 pins. These are the print heads we currently have in stock, but most of you guys are already going to have a 9-pin cable installed, so this should not be an issue. For most of these DTF models, you're going to be okay. Once you have your DTF print head, the next thing you're going to need is a screwdriver like this. So once you have your DTF print head and or your screwdriver ready, the last thing you're going to need is Ziploc. So we're going to be turning on our DTF printer. We're going to be holding this button right here. We're going to open up the lid if it's not already opened. We basically want the cart to go in the middle. So once the cart is in the middle, we're going to be pressing this red button to turn off the printer. So right now, everything is turned off. You don't want the cart here because you won't be able to, play around with it perfectly, and it might cause some problems to reinstall the new print head. So just make sure the cart is in the middle. Once the cart is in the middle, I want you guys to grab some Ziplocs. So I'm going to use the same Ziplocs as I previously used. I just want to make sure I use the same colors. So we're going to start with the yellow. Very, very straightforward, guys. You can open up your Ziploc. Once the Ziploc is open, you pop these injectors out, these dampers, and you insert. As you saw, it went flying. You're going to insert the damper inside of this Ziploc and close off the bag. Now you want to repeat this for all of the colors. Also make sure it's closed, the Ziploc, as best as possible, just so there's not a bunch of ink that goes everywhere. I'm also just going to clean this. And before we even move further, guys, just some general tips and tricks. You want to make sure everything is clean on your DTF printer. So before you change your print head, just make sure all of this area is as clean as possible. Mine's getting a bit dirty, obviously, because I use these printers quite a lot. And when you open this up right here, you want to make sure this swab is clean. So we're actually going to place some alcohol pad on it and just remove any of the dirt that's built up on this little squeegee right here. So as you can see, there's a lot of gunk. You want to take all of that out. So when you change your print head, everything's going to be perfect. You just want to clean basically this squeegee as much as possible and remove all of that, that gunk here. So we're going to do that right now, and I'll report back to you guys once I've cleaned this squeegee to the best of my ability. So basically, guys, everything is clean on my end. I removed all of the extra gunk that was sticking out here. There's still some, but it looks very good. And as you can see, my squeegee is 100% clean. Now you want to drop back down your squeegee as so. And you want to make sure there's nothing here. Everything is looking good. There's no gunk. Next step is also going to take a look under your cart. So once everything of these injectors and dampers are removed, we're going to move on to the next step. So repeat the steps, guys, with the Ziplocs to remove all of the dampers. So we did the yellow, we're going to do the black next. And just some general tips, guys, while I'm actually removing these dampers. Take your time with this process. I know how you guys feel, especially if it's your first time. It can feel quite overwhelming to play with this kind of equipment. It's very expensive, so take your time, guys. If you're not sure, rewind the video, ask some questions in the comments, and I'll be able to assist you guys, no problem. I come from a place of compassion, guys. I know exactly how you feel. Doing your first DTF print head replacement can be quite stressful. So put everything like this. You can put both of the whites together. That's not a problem. So right now we're doing the whites. Again, sorry for the angle, but this is pretty straightforward, guys. You're just putting the dampers in a Ziploc bag and closing the Ziploc as much as possible so that ink doesn't go everywhere. Now we're going to move on to the red and the blue. Perfect. So now everything's in a Ziploc. You can move these wires to the side. Make sure it's not applying too much pressure so it doesn't like burst. Now this is our print head. We're going to be changing this one and inserting a new one. So what we want to do next, guys, is pop this little thingy open. So I'm going to place the camera right here. I'm going to show you guys the tool that I'm using. We're going to use a weeding tool like this, a little hook. So this hook is going to unhook all of these three little attachments right here. So basically, it's a bit hard to tell on the camera. Let me try to focus for you guys. But basically, you want to untick this one and this little one right here. This is the one we're going to be removing like this. And after that, we're going to be removing this one right here. So first step, we're going to remove the top one. So what I usually like to do is go underneath and just apply a bit of pressure towards me. You want to make sure it doesn't break too, so just apply a bit of pressure. And if it doesn't work, guys, try the other one. Perfect. So I got it popped up for the top. Now we're going to go on the side. You want to play around with it. Don't force it too much, guys. It should come off pretty easily. And once both of them are kind of popped off as they are right now, as you can see, they're no longer in their pins. You just want to press on the bottom one right here. So there's a little place you can, press, and this is going to remove everything. So you just want to press like this, and you want to lift at the same time. So again, I am filming this alone. I do apologize, but you want to lift this up like this, and while you're lifting, you just want to push this, and it should pop off like this. I'll have an updated video on how to change your print head with a GoPro, so you'll see all of my movements, but this is an updated video because the one I made on how to change your print head was like a year ago, so I feel like an update was necessary. But again, sorry for the angles, but you get the gist of it. Take your time, and if you get stuck on this step, maybe try to just play around with these top ones, and once they actually get out of their pins, you just want to press on the bottom one. Alright guys, so the next step is going to be to grab your screwdriver. You will see that there's 3 screws. There's one here, there's another one here, and there's another one here in the corner to undo. So, like I said, get yourself a screwdriver, ideally magnetic. Okay. So get the screwdriver, and then you can go inside of here and just unscrew the screws. Make sure you remove this part like I was explaining to you guys earlier. This part right here. So unscrew the first screw. You can put it to the side for now. And we're going to repeat that step for the 2 other screws. Last one. Again, having a magnetic screwdriver is going to make this job a whole lot easier for you guys. Now remove the final screw, and then you can gently take the print head out. So you place your 2 fingers inside of the the carrier as so, and you slowly lift the print head up. Now what I want you guys to do is flip your print head around. You're going to remove these 2 cables. You can remove one at a time. So what I like to do usually is go with the first one, the smaller one, and just jiggle it around and pull towards you. And then you want to do the same thing with the bigger one. And you can put your print head in something like this so that underneath of the print head does not touch anything. So it's just hovering like this. And you can now take a Ziploc just to make sure you don't contaminate the wire and place it like this. Now for the next step, if you need to, you can clean underneath the carrier. And the best thing to do, as you can see it's dirty, you can grab a swab like this. Again, look, guys, links in the descriptions for everything. And you can just pass a swab underneath the carrier to make sure that when you install your new print head, there's not going to be any gunk that's going to clog it. Last thing you guys want is to change the print head and there's already some issues. So by passing a swab like this, you're going to mitigate anything that could go wrong. Pass a swab. As you can see, it was really dirty. Just going to put this back in the Ziploc, and you can go on the other side and just go inside and try to remove any excess buildup that there might be. And you can also go from this side, guys, if it's better. Sometimes it's easier to see. You can go from the side and look underneath the print head carrier and just try to remove any excess that might have built up. Looks good, guys. So once that is done, the next step is going to be to actually install your new print head. Very straightforward. What I want you guys to do is grab your print head. It's going to come in a package like this. Then the next step, you're going to have to open these sides. It's just some tape. So So you can remove the tape like this, and you can open up the print head as so. Now the next step, this is your brand new print head. You're going to take the wires that we just took off. You're going to insert the wires like this. So I'll try to turn it around for you guys. You're going to insert the small wire first. Never touch the bottom, guys. Always make sure you're never touching the print head. You're going to insert the wire as so, wiggle it around. Make sure to not apply too much force like this. Make sure it's properly in, so when you pull a bit it doesn't come out. And you're going to insert the bigger wire like this. You just want to go inside the pins basically. Once you're inside, you can slowly push. You want to push evenly too. You want to make sure it's properly inserted, and when you pull a bit, nothing comes out, and that's when you know it's successfully installed. You want to make sure it's not crooked, make sure everything is properly installed, give it a good push, and try to pull it out, and if it doesn't come out, the print head has been successfully changed. Now, the most important part, you want to drop it down back where it's going in the middle, so you want to make sure this doesn't touch anything else. So just slowly drop it, and that's perfect. Now next step, you want to take this wire and put it back in its place just by doing like this, going over in front of this cable that was here. So I'll just do it again for you guys. It was like this, and then you just want to take your wire and put it around like this. Now the next step, you want to put this back in place. So it's as simple as a snap. You just put it in and it's going to do a snap like this. Perfect. It snapped back in. Driver, once we did all of these things and the print head has been plugged in, so you put it inside of the wire and you click this thing, this black thing inside. Now everything is secured. You want to make sure you put back these screws where they belong. So it's going to go right in, and you don't have to go too tight. Just make sure that you apply some pressure and you screw it all the way in. They're small screws, so you don't have to, you know, be crazy about the tightness of it. Just make sure it goes down, and once you can't tighten anymore, you can stop there. So last screw, and basically your print head has been successfully changed. We're going to move on to the next step. Once these are clean, I'm going to show you guys how to put them back in, do a head cleaning, nozzle check, and we're going to do a test print to make sure the print head is going. Step is going to be to clean these dampers. I won't show it in this video. I'll make another separate video explaining to you guys how to clean your DTF printer if you need to replace your print heads. So I'll be doing this in the background, and I'll update you guys once I actually put these back inside of the new print head. So basically just cleaning them. Also guys, video on how to clean your print head up here. So make sure you take a look on how to properly clean your print head. I want you guys to take alcohol pads and run it through all around your damper. This is going to make sure that no ink, you know, builds up and, you know, makes clogs and stuff like that. Basically just making sure that it's the best quality possible so you don't contaminate your new print head. I want you guys to use alcohol pads like this on every single damper. Make sure all sides are clean. You go inside and you make sure everything's perfect. I'll report to you guys once I pass an alcohol swab on all of the dampers, and we're going to reinsert everything back into the print head and do a test clean. I've got my yellow and my black dampers back inside. I use an alcohol swab and properly clean all around the dampers and also even inside this little thing right here. So I went with an alcohol pad inside of this hole to make sure there was not any dried up ink. For the white, the next step is going to be to take a syringe like this, insert a tip inside of the syringe like this, and I want you guys to pull your white ink around 5 mLs. You can also shake your white ink cartridge. You can go ahead and pull your white ink. Around 2.5 mLs is going to be perfect in this case. Take a alcohol pad like this, clean around and inside. and then insert your white ink in the print head. How to replace print head. So guys, our print head is now successfully replaced. We have inserted the new print head. We have cleaned everything to make sure that all of these dampers are clean. Now the next step is going to be to clean all of this mess up. Turn on the printer, do a head cleaning, nozzle check, and do a test print. I want to bring you guys step by step so you know what to do once you successfully replaced your print head. Take some time to congratulate yourself. This is not the easiest process. So let me clean up this mess and I'll report back to you guys once we're ready to turn on this printer, do a head cleaning, nozzle check, and our first ever test print after replacing the print head. Perfect. Got our new print head installed. Now it's time to turn on the printer and get to work. Pretty straightforward. Let it do its thing, and if it's moving, you know that you did something right. It means that the wires right here are properly connected, so that's a good sign. Now it's going to go back and forth, and if there's no flashing lights, everything is perfect and you did the installation correctly. So it should go back over there and then come back, and if there's no flashing lights, like I said, the installation has been successful. This was the old print head. And yet we're golden, guys. So the first step I want you guys to do is a head cleaning. Right now it's doing its own head cleaning. So I'll let this finish. Once this is done and the green light is no longer flashing, I'll report back to you guys. We're going to do a head cleaning, a nozzle check, and do a print. So the flashing light has stopped. Now we're going to go ahead and do a head cleaning and then a nozzle check to see if all of our lines are there. Let's go to the computer, File, and then head cleaning right here, or F12. Yes or enter. And now the printer is going to do his head cleaning. After the head cleaning is done, we're going to move on to the nozzle check. It might be normal if you replaced your print head, so this is a new print head, it might be normal that not all of your lines are there on the nozzle check, meaning that you might have nothing printing on your nozzle. That's where we repeat these steps a few times, basically going through a head cleaning, nozzle check, and then going through a print. We're going to do that a few times until something actually prints on the page, and then we can do a head cleaning nozzle check once again to get the diagnostic. The reason being, guys, this print head has to fill up with ink. It's a brand new print head, so it's normal that the few first head cleanings and nozzle check don't perform a print. You guys will see in a second what I'm talking about. So we're going to wait for this flashing light to stop. Once it's stopped, we're going to do a nozzle check, and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. The flashing light has stopped. That means we're ready for a nozzle check. We might be lucky and everything on the nozzle check will be there, or if it's not, I'll bring you guys step by step on how to fix it. We'll see when the print page comes out. But in general, to recap, if nothing comes up on your nozzle check, as you can maybe see here, you know, we got our lines on top and we got the information. If nothing like this prints on our nozzle check, rest assured, I want you guys to do a print and then repeat the steps a few times. So it may take the first time and everything works, or you might have to go through the steps like 1 to 3 times until something successfully prints. That is just because the dampers need to go inside of the print head and actually feed the print head with ink. So let's do a nozzle check and see if all of our lines are there and all of our information is there. If not, rest assured, I'll show you guys step by step what to do. So File, nozzle check, or F11, and then yes or enter. And let's see how this nozzle check comes out. I think we got lucky, guys. All of our information is there. You can't have better than that, guys. All of our white lines are there, which are the most important, and all of the other lines are perfect, and we got some nice quality going on the nozzle check. We are officially ready to start our print. So without any further ado, guys, I'm going to put this to the side right now. We're going to start our first print with the replacement of the new print head, and this will conclude how to replace your print head from A to Z. The full step-by-step guide, bring you guys along the journey on how to successfully change/replace your print head. So now we're going to go over here, make sure our settings are perfect, File, Print, white plus color, copy one, click white plus color again, make sure our image is mirrored obviously, and we are printing. Now guys, I know it can feel overwhelming the first time you change your print head, but after you did it a few times, it becomes really easy and you become less stressful because you know what to expect. Things can go wrong and things can malfunction, but if you take your time and you're patient, everything should go very, very smoothly. Guys. If you guys found this video somewhat helpful, make sure to leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe if you're new. This was Dom from Hole Printing Inc. Make a print you'll never forget.